I gotta hear this song though.
Living this life on high, I got to be happy.
I like to
Money
be happy.
follow me.
I gotta be happy.
Love all around me. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let 'em watch our love, favor all on us, peace all around us.
Hi, I'm Jazmin Anderson. You guys are like right here to JTV Network, and I have this special guest here today, you guys. I mean, the amazing, beautiful, talented Kat St. John in the building.
Y'all, hey guys, hello everybody.
So beautiful, so gorgeous. Look how
Thank
she
you.
just looks today, you guys. I mean, she could switch it up. We don't know what she's gonna come through, how beautiful she's gonna come through when she comes through.
Thank you.
So let us know just Kat St. John, because I was just like, this name, it just stands out so much on its own. I was like, I have to get the story behind this name.
So my original name is Kathleen Marie St. John,
Okay.
but nobody called me Kat until I went fishing with my uncle.
Oh, wow.
He went back with a hook and it hooked into my lip right here.
No.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Went to the hospital and I was doing a lot of crying because they wanted to put the strings in, the stitches in, and I was crying, and my mom was one of them type of mamas, you cry, you're gonna get in trouble. So I started crying and, you know, whatever, and before the doctor could cut it, it was like extra long, and my mom was like, come on, we're leaving. So I walked around school with these two things out of my face like this, not realizing that I could cut it, but thinking that if I cut it, maybe I might start bleeding. So I'm walking around school. My mother used to put a ponytail right here in the middle of my head.
Stop.
And I had the whiskers walking around school. So everybody was calling me Kat and Meow and this and that.
What?
So from there, like my dad had started calling me Kat. And then from there, it's just like, I hated the name at first. And then when I matured and got older, I started respecting my last name and the Kat. And I started respecting that, and I started understanding that it just made me stronger. And so Kat is a stronger version because Kat was the one that was being picked on. Kat was the one that was being talked down on. And they used to call me Butterball in school.
No,
so I was a Butterball cat. I was a Butterball cat in school, yes. So it was just one of those situations where Kat overcame.
Yes.
So Kat, you know, it's a stronger me on the inside of me. So that's where Kat St. John came from.
Come on with that Kat St. John. I wasn't even expecting to hear a story so detailed like that. So for you to tell me, I'm so glad I even asked about like the story behind Kat St. John.
Yes.
Like, that's amazing.
Yes.
And then I got my beautiful
Hold
DJ
on, wait a minute. I'm so sorry. Don't interrupt. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Wait,
Let me
what
say
happened?
something. We got to cut the cameras off. And we can't do this.
Why?
Because I'm really upset right now.
Oh, what
Like
happened?
no, like I'm dead serious. Like we gotta cut the cameras off.
Wait, what just happened?
First of all, I have on a 9 Live shirt, and you do not. And you decided to wear all this beautiful jewelry, okay? Coming in here looking like 10 chains, okay?
Wait,
all
this
sexy
is
for the
my
camera,
show. You
okay?
cannot interrupt me.
You know what?
I was scared. I didn't even get it, Kat St. John.
Setting up an opportunity for us, man. I was like, we're gonna.
I didn't even get a Kat St. John shirt though. What's up?
I'm gonna get you. See what had happened was
I didn't even get the shirt.
that 5 o'clock nap. It just turned into rushing out. You know.
Okay. Because
I
I
normally
did
take
see
them
how
everywhere I go, but
I did see how my DJ did come through repping. I was like, oh, okay, you
she
want to
always
represent.
repping. She always repping.
And with the 9 Lives, and I'm really loving this album you have out right now.
Thank you so much.
It is so good. I have been bumping it like since I've known who you are. Like with my DJ Khaled, she's been promoted, letting me know. Like, no, you need to know about this woman. You need to know about this woman. And I have been jamming this music ever since. So, especially my song right now is Yeah. But what actually had you do that title, 9 Lives? Like what?
Because, okay, it started off with, like, there was a lot of dangerous things that happened to me where, like, I suffered a lot of injury. And I was put in ICU by my father. I fell into a snake hole with snakes. And my sisters and them sat on me. I drowned for 1 minute. I was dead. My family had an accident. It was like 10 of us in the car. Everybody flew out the windows. I was sitting underneath the tree. Nothing had happened to me. So it started off being about that. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want it to be about that, because what if it become a 10 Live and then that's it, I'm going to heaven. So I switched it up and I said, I'm not going to speak that on myself. Like, there's a reason why God want me here. I'm still here. And so I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, like 9 Lives is also the different personalities. Me as a woman, I have a mother personality in me. I have an artist personality in me. I have the crazy woman in me. I have the jealous woman of my man if he thinking he want to do something with somebody else than me. I have the one that will scratch and pinch a car. I'll do all of that if I have to. You know, there's different pieces of me on the inside of me, but I wanted to show this in my music. So I didn't want you to listen to an album and everything is just singing, or everything is just crying, or everything's just about money, or everything's just about shaking your butt and this and that. I want it to be about all of it. I want to make money, shake my butt, get mad at my man, cuss a girl out, with everything I've been through. I wanted to put that in there. But the thing is that as artists, they put us in a box. So they'll say, what are you, R&B or rap?
Wow.
So what happened is my vocals actually gave out and I had started rapping and it was doing really good and I was like really angry and I was putting it out on my music and then I was just like, you know what, I just hope my voice come back. Whenever my voice would come back, I thought get a song in there. So it was like flip-flop. So I was like, how can I deliver a package like this? They're gonna be confused. They're gonna be like, is she a rapper or a singer? So I was like, you know what, all these tracks are emotional. So 9 Lives, like you get to experience 9 different vibes from me. Like this ain't nothing like that one.
Yes.
So that's what I thought
9 Lives. So you got me feeling great. And it's just like when you know the story behind stuff, it makes you appreciate it so much more.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Like your name, it just makes me like, you know, a Cat St. John.
Yes,
you know, more motivated.
thank you.
And even just with 9 Lives, like, you know, even with the cat. You know, having 9 lives, like people say, and just like you putting that behind it, like, no, there's different hats in 9 lives. Like to me, that's just amazing and phenomenal.
Yes.
And I just love just you. I've been reading on you and how you just got into music and how you've been doing writing for other people.
Yes.
Like so many big artists. I mean, you've been with Lil Wayne, you've been with Jeezy, you've done some writing for certain people.
Well, the Lil Wayne and Jeezy, that was me performing for them. See, the person who did the write-up wrote it up wrong. That's not what happened.
Oh, okay. Well, let us know what happened. Let us know because I was like,
hold on, tell us what's
so the bio says I've performed on stages with, and it'll say the different people's names. So if you know, when you go to clubs and stuff like that, they'll have concerts.
That's still
so
great.
Like I remember there was the last concert I did. It had French Montana. You know, was performing, not the last concert, but I did a concert where French Montana was one of the artists. So that's how people like that ended up being in my bio. I think it was at Roxy. Roxy used to be open a long time ago, but he came to the Roxy. Go DJ High C was the DJ,
I remember that
and he
spot.
brought me in there to perform. So the bio says has performed along with artists on the same stage as blah, blah, blah. And then worked with producers with these artists, blah, blah, blah. So it's like a lot of people kind of know me as a writer. So when they see the names, they just, you know, assume that that's what it is. And I don't mind telling people, no, that's not what it is, because people lie a lot and make it like they're doing more than what they're doing.
I'm going to own up to what I really did. Look, and the fact that you even said that, like, no, like, this is really the correct way. Like, I performed, even for you to perform on these stages, the same people
I was opening
have
act. I was the one that you get on with
Come
before the crowd comes.
Like, that's still great.
That was me. That was me, like, trying to get the crowd hype before they come. Nobody ain't there. That was me. But, you know, I touched the same stage as these people. Ozone Awards, Sprite Step Off, you know, things like that. It was, this is how I'm here right now. This is how I'm here right now. So,
and that you continue to stay on it.
Yes, that I continue to stay on it. So now I have written records for Jazz Anderson, which is Tammy Roman's daughter. Tammy Roman came to me and she was like, hey, I heard you, you know, wrote this record, blah, 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 because I was like, yeah, you know, let's do it. And she was like, you know, here, let me pay you. And I was like, no, you don't have to pay me nothing, because to me, sometimes some things are priceless. This woman ended up coming back and putting me on Basketball Wives.
Stop. So you just never know where your blessing is just gonna come. Like, you really don't. Just taking the opportunity and being like, you know what, I'm just gonna bless you, and like a blessing even bigger came back for you. Yeah,
she came through, and I wasn't expecting it at all. Like, she never said, if you do this, I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah. None of that. And when it happened, I was like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, I could come to LA. I can be there tomorrow. when I was like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna get this money to get out there tomorrow? But I didn't let her know that. You know, and I was like, I took advantage. When I got there, she was so humble to me, so nice, as she was even the day that we was in the studio. And from this day on, I always talk about it, because that's an opportunity somebody gave me that they didn't have to give to me.
That's true.
They didn't have to. Even me writing for her daughter, that was an opportunity, because Jazz is a big artist right now herself.
Yeah, she is.
You know, and I feel proud that I was a part of her beginning of her career. You know, it's a proud moment.
And that's so great. And that's so good when you can just empower.
Yep.
Just empower other women, and even you coming on this platform, just being a force of empowerment to women, and you just being so, you know, just like you could just tell, like when you're so sure about who you are, and when you're in your own business and your own craft, that you can respect another woman or another person that's in their craft and show them love and show them respect, like no hate, like, you know what, show them love and what they do. So I'm like, for you to do that, and for me even hearing your story on how you do that for other women, like that's just who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's part of what separates you from a lot of the women who are in the industry. So what else do you feel like just separates you completely from the women out here?
Well, I used to be the type of person where I didn't know how much giving and sharing would open up doors for you, right? Yeah. So, and I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about information. So sharing information, it would be like, okay, I know how to open this business, and I made this money real quick, and I didn't tell nobody. But not thinking that it was wrong, just thinking that I don't want nobody to hate on me, or I don't want nobody to
look at me this way.
So we hide it for the wrong reasons, not realizing that we're also being selfish. So then one day a girl from my company, she left, and I was like, why did you leave? And she was like, because I needed to grow. And I was like, I could have helped you grow. You should have told me. She was like, well, you didn't tell me that you was helping me go. I didn't know that I had that vibe that she thought that I didn't want to see her grow. And from that point on, I was like, I can't lose somebody else to them just leaving me. So I had got to the point where when somebody come work with me, I'd be like, girl, something bigger and better is going to come. So we're going to prepare you for this. And I'm going to show you how to get there. Because I wanted to be able to be known as somebody who helps somebody get there, not the person that's hindering the person, or I didn't show them and I'm the only one winning. I'm not going to be the only one buying the bottles in the club.
Come on, like, hey, everybody in my circle should be able to buy their bottles if that's what they want to do. No, that's
so I think that separates me from a lot of people, and some people because they are not genuine, it's hard for them to understand, like, why is she giving this to me? Why is she doing this? She must want something. And when they realize you don't, when you really like, nah, it's too good to be true. And then when they realize you don't, they done already dogged you out and everything by then. They done already dogged you out and realized, dang, this woman really just wanted to help me. So that makes me different in that sense, because sometimes I don't get anything back, and I'm okay with it because I'm not doing it to get something back.
Come on. And I think that's what we need more in society. Like, I feel like we need to just do stuff just to do it. Be able to help people just to help them. Like, if you feel like you're in a position you can help somebody while they going through, help that person. And I feel like a lot of us, we feel like, well, if we not winning right now, you're not going to be winning. Or if I'm not on top right now, you're not going to be on top. Like, if you know certain people who could help someone else, even if they do go off, and your whole journey is completely different from that person.
Yeah, because I'm going to get whatever's for me. Whatever is for me is coming to me regardless. And when I learned that, and I learned that these 3 balls, they're mine. So why I can't help you create a ball for yourself?
Come on.
Because mine is still going to be mine. But at the end of the day, one thing about it is that we give, and we give the wrong way and with a wrong heart sometimes.
That's so true.
So we give with a fast hand, just like we take with a fast hand sometimes.
Like the quicker it comes.
Yeah, so you tell me a good story, and my hand might be like, oh, here. Or,
something
oh, here,
let me
give you this couch. And now you sitting on the floor mad because you go to her house, she living lavish. You mad you done gave her the couch. You wasn't supposed to give her the couch anyway. The couch was meant for you to sit on. Now she's sitting on the couch laughing at you like, girl, you good? You ain't got no couch in your house, girl, come sit on my couch. And you mad because you wasn't supposed to give to that person anyway. So you have to decipher who you supposed to give to and who you're not supposed to give to. So then that can help you become a more cheerful giver instead of a resentful giver, or the person like, I'm not giving to nobody. You see on Instagram, I'm not helping nobody else out. I'm tired of helping people because they have helped the wrong people. So, you know, sometimes you just got to go back and think about that.
No, come on, that's really good. And I think that's so real. Like, I just love, like, people who are just so real and genuine. And I feel like you've constantly been like that. Like, I know obstacles and trials and things actually happen in our life.
Yeah.
What can you say, like, was something that happened and you were just so shocked that you made it through that situation?
Well, recently, I had got lipo a couple of years ago, and you couldn't tell me nothing. Wow. I guess you're supposed to get massages and everything.
I feel you like, look,
You guess you're supposed to get massages and everything, and I didn't do that because I was young and dumb. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
And years later, fast forward to years later, about 2 months ago, I went and got lipo again, but it was a different type of lipo. I had scar tissue from when I first had it, and it had hardened up. And it made my stomach look lumpy. Y'all see when you're on Instagram and you be like, something don't look right with her stomach.
No, I didn't see that.
That's scar tissue. That's scar tissue. So that scar tissue had built up in my stomach, and so what was happening is that it started hurting in my stomach. So it became so hard that I had to get it taken out. So I was like, listen, found a doctor that could take it out and throw lipo in there. So now I'm doing the much when I'm like, throw lipo in there too. Go ahead and do it. He's like, oh yeah, we can do all of that. So I go to Minnesota, I get it done, and I lost too much blood.
Are you serious?
Lost too much blood. And they was like, listen, we don't think that you can go home right now.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, wait, what do you mean I can't go home? They was like, you can't go home. You lost too much blood. You got to get a blood transfusion. So I was like, no. They were like, your hemo is this level and it's supposed to be at this level. So my hemo was a 4.3. It's supposed to be at a 12 to a 15. So I was like a walking dead person. So then I was like, man, if I die, please don't tell them I died from almost getting lipo, from getting lipo. Please don't tell them that. So I'm in the hospital. But before I went to the hospital, I told the people I'm not going to the hospital. They can't make you go to the hospital unless I pass out. Then, of course, they can come get me. So I said, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm at the recovery house. I said, I'm not going to the hospital. I'm not doing that. Can y'all give me like some burgers, red meat, iron, whatever? So they was like, we can see how it goes. So for 2 days, I ate greens, burgers, irons. I thought I felt good. Yeah, so like I did my hair and everything. I was like, I'm ready to go home. But I realized my body was just putting on a roll so I can go home. Because I wanted to go home. So I'm looking good. They was like, oh, you look good. Like the doctor did the test, and he said, if you don't go to the hospital now, you're going to die. Oh, my God. And I was like, what? And I busted out crying. I was like, no wonder why I couldn't make it from here to here without feeling tired. It was such, so it had, what is it called? Anemia had kicked in. So by then, you're not getting oxygen to all of your main organs. And it was just the worst situation because I'm in the hospital by myself. I didn't tell anybody I was going. I had told my family the day before I went that I was going because I knew that something was telling me don't go. So I felt guilty telling everybody I was going. Yeah. And then when I got there, this happens. And then it was like I fell asleep. The night before I had fell asleep. And I was like, nah, something ain't right. And I feel like, I'm not going to lie, y'all, I feel like I went to heaven. I was like, I was in a place, it was so bright. And it was like, it was my son and my husband playing on the right side. And then my husband's grandmother was sitting down and she turned around and said, you scared me. She said that. Wow. So then when she turned around, I was like, I was confused. I was like, you know everybody think you're dead, right? What you doing behind me? What you doing? And I was like, girl, da-da-da-da. So it's like from there, I went to go walk and play with them. Yeah. And then it's like I woke up like there was like a gasp of air, like, and I woke up, I was sweating, and I started crying. And then the next day was the day where they said, you have to go to the hospital or you're going to die. And so I went to the hospital, got the blood transfusion. I said, just don't put no Tatiana blood in me. We going to be good. I need rich blood in me. Don't put no Tatiana. I ain't no thought. If I become a thought, I'm suing y'all. The lady was laughing because I'm looking pale. I'm looking white with black. I look like a raccoon at this point because I'm very bright. Light, right here was dark and right here was dark. So it was like a walking ghost. And then before I know it, like within a couple of hours, all that blood was in me and I was ready to get up out of there.
Stop.
Yep, and the doctors and them, they put me on first class, and it was my first time riding first class, and I was like taking all type of Instagram pictures. I was like, this how ballers make it, blah, blah, blah. Nobody had knew. I was like, yep, flying A1 first class. This how I do, baby.
Like nobody knew. Look, y'all don't even know.
I was eating Cheerios. And from there, I was like, I gotta be happy. I can no longer live life half-stepping. I can't do that. Because I was miserable before then, but I didn't know. And so that's why how y'all came about. Y'all was the last record on the whole project. I was like, I gotta be happy. Like, I can't half step no more. So I started doing things like fasting and praying for the things I wanted. I had to start repositioning things. And there were certain people I just had to stop answering phone calls for. They didn't do anything for me. They just wasn't for me. They wasn't giving anything. They wasn't taking anything from me. I just had to switch up a lot of things. So, and it was a lot of things that I used to do that I was like, I can't be a part of it no more because, like, I got another chance. So I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, I just have to be happy. I have to live my life to the fullest. I cannot care about what nobody think. No, I can't do that. So that's
especially almost like using, give her just a round of applause, just like being so transparent, being so open, because, you know, a lot of people get surgeries and stuff and they don't even want to speak on that.
And they lie, and they lie,
and they lie, and they just make it just seem like, you know what, I just got this. It was no recovery. It was no nothing. Just look at the beauty.
They be
you know
selling
what I'm
all
saying?
the tea and stuff. Those people come to me, I'm be like, I tell them, no, I can't sell that because I'm not trying to lie to nobody and tell them this is how this happened. That's not how that happened. It's not realistic for a person that's like this to all of a sudden be like this because of a diet.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. Like, you got to be really big, and then if you lose weight, your shape kind of shows, and then that happens. But if you just naturally straight up and down, and then somebody going to take out so much, then, yeah, that curve is going to come. But to me, it's just like a lot of false advertisement, and that's what makes us messed up in the head, because we following something that's not even real. Half of them people ain't even happy. Half of them not even happy. I'm around a lot of them. They're not happy people.
And that's just beautiful, just for you to let people know, for girls who even want to think about getting certain things done. Like, I think it's so important to actually look up the information first. You know, if you do want to get a surgery, you want to do breast implants, you want to do
and you have
the
to be happy
job,
with yourself. Because even when I got that lipo, it didn't make me feel no different. It didn't make me feel no different. I still had issues mentally that I had to deal with. I did it for myself. It wasn't for nobody else. And I realized I have to deal with me on the inside because there's something going on up here. And I'm willing to admit that. But when I was younger, I was called fat, butterball, all these things. So those things stick with you, and you got to fight. You got to fight those demons in your head. Because a lot of times we cause a lot of stuff from what we thinking in our own head. You causing arguments with your dude. I know you cheating. I know you cheating. You don't spoke this into existence
already
about 10 times.
Head, yes.
So now he finna cheat because you done spoke it. You want this to happen, apparently.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Now you done made up. You have made up.
The guys over here clapping in the audience.
You have made up that somebody is doing something to you. And I tell people, I just got off the phone with one of my friends. She was like, I haven't heard from my friend in a minute. And you know what? She probably doing this and that. And I said, girl, stop. You just haven't heard from her. That's it. I said, stop making up in your head that she acting funny with you. I said, because I'm firsthand know how I feel to not call somebody because I'm not a good phone person. Yeah. So,
I know it.
Listen, so I'm like, listen, don't think like that, because our mind will start making us believe stuff. Because I done been sitting where I'm walking around the house, I'm like, this really trying to play me.
No, that's true. Like, mentally, I think that's so true what you're saying, because the mind, you know, we can play things on our own mind. Oh, like, whatever it is, you can speak whatever it is, whether it's something good, whether it's something bad. Everything you're putting in your mind, it can come and it can happen for you. So that's so good for you to touch on.
There's power in the tongue.
And in the mind, whatever you're thinking, you know what I'm saying? So make sure your thoughts are clear. Make sure you're making the mind shift that you need to make. Like, and make sure you get those negative thoughts out of you.
So I have a question, because I always hear a lot of people say, get these thoughts out of your mind. Don't think this, don't think that, don't say this, don't say that. Sometimes, as humans, y'all, we know this. You cannot help but to think it, because you feel it in your spirit and you just want to think it. How do you personally, Kat, because I know you all the time, baby, you good at this, okay? how do you cleanse your personal mind? Like, and for those who, again, I know you're a firm believer because I've been knowing you for a while, but for those who aren't believers or they just live, how do you cleanse your mind from thinking those types of thoughts? Because you can tell a person, don't think that, don't do that, don't say bad stuff. Yeah. How do you start naturally daily feeding yourself and doing good things?
Let me tell you what I do, because I used to be the craziest of the crazy. I'm talking about like making stuff up in my head that done happened, that hasn't even happened. So what I had to start doing was refocusing my energy. So sometimes when you're bored and you have nothing to do, you start thinking stuff. So you gotta redirect your energy. That's number one. Number two, you can write it down in a diary. Number three, I've learned before I send a text message that's cussing somebody out, I send it to myself first. And I read it, and then I be like, okay, good. For some reason, I never even have to send it to that person now because I felt like I got it out of me. Because sometimes we just want to talk. We just want to get it out. So then another thing is, I think like to myself, like I'll start seeing red and I'll start saying roses, flowers, kisses. I start trying to say positive things to myself because a lot of times, like I said, it's all in our head. A lot of the things are in our head. Now, from that point on, like you on your own, because sometimes I'm not perfect at it. You just don't see it a lot, friend. You just don't see it a lot. I can be at the house, like just really talking to myself, like, man, you know, inside of my own head. But by the time I get ready, it's over, it's out.
Kay, you know I know this. We done been in hotel rooms, traveled together, different places. I know this child.
I'll go off, and then by the time I get on the phone, it's like, okay, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, and you have to learn people too. I think that over the years, just in general, with people and humans, like we have to start communicating better. Kat told me when I first met her, she was like, look, we friends, but I'm not gonna call you all the time. Like I'm not a phone person. I will not answer my phone. So even when she's telling the truth about when she went out of town and all that stuff happened to her doing the surgery, I was naturally like, hey, she ain't called me. Hey, we good, baby. She good over there at her house, living her best life. And then something told me, like, just call her. And I called her. She was like, friend, I almost died. I was like, what? How did this happen? So for me, like, communication is key with people and learning people. So that way you do not, you know, mistaking bad friendships that really are good people. Like you just have to learn different people. Don't expect them to be the person you are. And that's why I feel like I can appreciate Kat's space and even her project, because in her project she talks a lot about, you know, women and men, relationships. She also talks about good and positive things. So I feel like her album embodies a lot of our everyday things. Yes, like with women, especially, like men can relate to it because they understand the woman's mind, and women can relate to it because it's like explaining your mind.
Like, so, oh, I've been there.
Yes. Oh my God, this happened.
Relatable. Yes.
And that's so beautiful because while we're on that, I know you do so much in the community. Like you constantly giving back in the city, and I know there's this new thing that you're doing, a new project where you're working with the homeless men, and so many times we can just focus on just the women and that are homeless, you know, trying to make sure they're okay versus worrying about the men. So what made you want to get into that?
Well, before Harvey happened, I wanted to do a homeless shelter. So I had just made like a lot of money from a project, and I was like, you know what, before I buy myself a new house, a new car, and all these things, because again, guilt, you know, I'm gonna do something for somebody else. And I was like just reckless with it when I shouldn't have been, but I bought like maybe 300 beds.
Wow.
Bought 300 beds. It was a lot of beds. Wow. They were bunk beds, so divide that by 2. So I bought that amount of bunk beds, but they ended up being 300 altogether. So bought half of the mattresses, and a week later, and I put it in a warehouse downtown, which the warehouse that I was renting out, it was like $10,000 a month. And I was like, okay, but you know, I got to get this and that. And then Harvey came and wiped everything out. Oh, wow. The bunk beds was under the water for so long that they rusted out. The beds rusted out. So instantly I lost like almost $60,000. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what did I just do? Like I had nobody to turn to. Like I didn't want to be a sob story to anybody. I just felt like I had lost everything trying to give to somebody else, and here I am looking at my son, and I can't feed him because we just lost our house, and all of the money that I had was there, and I was like, man. and let me not say all the money, but a lot of the money I had was there. And I was like, man, so we applied for Red Cross. And I don't know if you guys remember, but a lot of people started getting denied for Red Cross because a lot of people were already applying for it while the storm was going on. My mind didn't think about applying for Red Cross until after, because now my mind, I'm cleared now. Now I could try to, you know, rebuild. I was not thinking like, get this money, the storm is here, get this money now, apply now. I was like scared. So
to make sure you're okay.
yeah, so we got denied. And I was like, wait, what? How we get denied? I could show you my house, I could send you pictures of it, but they didn't allow you to send pictures and stuff like that. They just allowed you to use your address. So many people, what they did was they were taking addresses from apartments that were in areas, and they were refiling over and over again, getting that money over and over again, using those addresses. So it blocked other people from getting it. So when they finally opened it again, they approved me. But for something in my spirit was like, don't take it, because you have something in the bank and it's somebody else that's getting denied because you got approved for it. So I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and help out people, whatever. So I get out there. I had a little hoodoo, you know, because my car had got wiped away. So now I'm driving in, just whatever. It's like God took everything from me. Everything that I thought was something, like everything was gone. And I went back to being like nothing, because I thought I was somebody. You know what I mean?
No, God will show you really.
So I get in that car, I go over there, I start helping feed everybody. And then from there, I had a friend that was like, listen, you wanted to do this, let's do it again. So then later on down the line, maybe like, I would say like 8 months later, I was able to get some money, and I found a cheaper vendor where I got the same, not the same amount, but half amount of the beds for like maybe $7,500 from China.
Stop.
Yeah, so then I got that going, and then from there, we got the bunk beds and things like that. And then my partner bailed out on the first month of rent.
Oh my gosh, it's something else.
And I was like, listen, you can't do this.
For real, you tested me.
So then I was like, I gotta come up with a plan, because I can't pay another month of these fees. Yeah. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do half bunkhouse, half homeless. So half of the people that were coming there, I started advertising $16.99 for you to live here. Wow. You know, you paying for a bed. You ain't paying for a room. You
paying for
this bed. So if it's 4 people in a room, 5 people in the 6 people, you paying for the bed. That's why you paying $16 a night. So before I know it, the house was full. Both of the houses. It was 2 houses on a property, and the house was full. And that helped pay the bills, and I've been withstanding with that, and then of course money out of my own pocket to keep it going. I have not had state funding, and I've been open for 1.5 years. So, but I just applied for my 501c3. Touche, shout out to Touche. He helped me get my 501c3. He did not charge me. He would not take any money from me. Wow. And he came over there to help me, and he was like, sis, you gotta get some help, or you're going to, you know, be stressed out. And I was like, yeah. So I'm in the process of getting the what is the other number, the tax exempt number to go with it. So there's a process going now, because I just never slowed down to do it. I just been like, here, let me pay for it, let me take care of it. And so like now I'm finally trying to structure it to where I can get some help. So right now it's about helping them and the men that are there, because they run the households. They're the ones that's either running from your family, or you running to help your family. So while they're there, they have to have a small job, or they have to leave every day and try to act like they getting a job, because some of them act like they getting a job, but you got to get up out of here.
That's good. That's good though. That's really good.
Yes. They get to come back at a certain time, and if they don't have anything to do that day, or if there's for some reason they already got their job and they're just waiting to start, then of course they can stay there all day. But I just try to inspire them to pay a bill. So they pay rent. It's called rent, but it's not. By the end of the week, it's like $35, $40. Yeah. So they got to pay a consistent time frame, so that they can get into the habit of paying bills. They can get into a habit of responsibility. They have to clean. There's a certain way that I like for a house to be clean. I tell them, if I can't live here, it can't be nasty like this. Beautiful. I tell them before they come, even if they coming off of the streets, you have to get a shower. You have to have a shower. You have to have on clean clothes before you come, because I'm trying to create a different environment. Wow. So if they're arguing with each other in the house, they gotta go, because you gotta love each other in this house. If you can't do that,
I'm just
you
loving
gotta
these
go.
rules in the house too.
And some of them, you would be amazed how many people hate the rules. They will call me all type of names behind my back, and I'll be like, and I'm a good one too. You know what I mean? But because they're not used to taking into consideration, a lot of people don't take other people's feelings into consideration. And a lot of things they argue over is stuff that we take for granted, like bottles of water, arguing over a pair of socks. Something as simple as that, because we don't understand that we're blessed and that we have all these things. So I got to teach them, if you want to fight with somebody, I tell them, go out to the street and go find. Don't be fighting nobody in here. This supposed to be like family. It's called live 100 for a reason. You're supposed to live your best life here.
Come on,
you're not living no worst life. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I just love like what you're doing. Like you continue to give back, continue to give yourself, and just like wanting to help however you feel you can help somebody, you're helping them and you're doing that.
Yes.
So, and I just really thank you for coming on the show and just being so open, so transparent, because it really helps someone by listening to your story, listening to what you've been through. It can help somebody in their own situation, what they have going on, and want to be more open and more transparent as well.
Yeah, because you are who you are. You can't hide who you are.
No, that's true.
You better off just telling who you are, because it's just more stressful trying to hide who you are.
No, that's
It's stressful.
And before you go, I always do words of wisdom. So I have to get words of wisdom, even though you've been giving us gems all day.
Give me everything.
Yes.
I want it. Okay.
I have to do words of wisdom with you. I'm always just curious, just what sticks with people, like day to day, if it's a quote, if it's something that just continues to resonate in your mind. Let me
tell y'all what will make you guys like the most loved person. If I leave you today and you felt good, that will last forever. So if I have good energy, if I have bad energy before I come in here, I'm gonna take a deep breath. I'm gonna say a prayer to myself, and I'm gonna say, listen, like whatever I say is between me and God, but I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna take that deep breath, get that good energy in, push that bad energy out, and when I come, I want you to feel good. So when you was around me, you like, she had good energy. I felt her. So it don't always got to be about words. Like if my presence can make you feel good, that you're going to remember me for the rest of your life. Even if you forget my name, you're going to remember me for the rest of your life because of the energy.
Wow. Come on. So that just shows like we got to have good energy and things like that. That's amazing.
And that don't mean you didn't have good, that don't mean you ain't just cuss somebody out in the car. That don't mean that. Like, listen, I have my time. That's not what that means. That just means get yourself together, recoup, and then come on and get on the scene. Get on the scene the right way.
So let's make sure we have a good energy, everybody, for real. Yes. And just let us know, like, the next project, what can we continue to look forward to that you have coming up, so we can stay looking at what Kat St. John is doing.
So right now, I'm focused on promoting my album 9 Lives and my single Ya. And that's what my focus is on right now. And from there, I just pray that it leads to other opportunities like this, you know, and I appreciate you guys for having me. So long story short, I'm just like working into every opportunity. Of course, I want to see my music on the top of iTunes and things like that. Those are goals, but those are every artist's goals. But as far as a specific thing, I just want to be successful. I just want to do music. I mean, all the extra stuff, I wish I didn't have to do it. But I have to, and you know, I just want everybody to support me and to show my music love and to tell somebody else about it. You know, if you have iTunes, you're already paying for it every month.
That's true.
Just add me onto your thing. So that's it. Yes, and then on the 30th. I'm at the Ava Center. Is the Ava Center? I'm at the Ava Center on the 30th.
Ava Center.
Yes, I think Juvenile is gonna be there. Who else?
Lil Ronnie, K Stylist,
Lil Ronnie,
Fat
K Stylist,
Pimp,
Jay Shelley, Jeff Shelley, me. Yes, I'm gonna be there.
Let them know the date again so they can all mark their calendars.
August 30th.
August 30th. Doors open at 7 p.m. Free smoke.
Look at her. She has all of my information.
Smoke fest. That's because, you know.
Yeah.
Come on, Callie. Come on,
Callie. What a friend.
Look, thank you so much for coming on the show today and just sharing your journey to victory with us. And everyone, you guys can go follow her at Kat St. John, it's me.
Kat St. John, it's me. And let me give one more shout out. Shout out to my homegirl, because I think she told you about me.
No,
the
she
reason
really
why
did.
I'm here.
Come on, Callie. Yeah. Shout out. That's my love right there. That's my love.
I'm young.
I know.
No, for real. Now everybody else knows about you, and we're going to continue to put your name out there.
Thank you so much.
You're definitely a story that needs to be shown and more light shed on. So I
appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me. Thanks, y'all.
Look, you guys have been locked right here to JTV, and this is the Jazmin Anderson Show, and we're out.
Yay!
Thank you, Kat. And this is my